Alex here from Feelgood Guitars. Hope you're all doing well tonight. Just wanted to pop in and show off one of our latest completed custom builds. This one is a Feelgood Astro Vibe. It's kind of our take on if a Fender Meteora met a Jazzmaster and had a baby. So kind of a Meteora inspired body with a reworked upper bout here. Slightly larger body, 25.5-inch scale neck, just kind of like a traditional Jazzmaster. Offset for bridge and vibrato. Standard Jazzmaster wiring with a rhythm circuit, three-way switch, volume and tone. This one is sprayed in Aztec Gold nitrocellulose lacquer with a tasteful relic job. You may be able to see the finish checking. There we go. Kind of shows up at that angle. Yeah, this is another very custom build that was a lot of fun for us to put together. This is for a local cat named Robert Ellis. Shout out to you, Rob. He had been looking for a kind of Jazzmaster Meteora build. We've done a few similar builds. This is actually only Astro Vibe number 2. We've only built one other of this model, but we did some stuff a while back with the traditional Meteora shape. So yeah, this is the Astro Vibe. It's not a Meteora. We did a lot of unique touches to this one to make it exactly how Robert wanted it. He told me he's more of a bluegrass kind of player, so he likes very thick necks and kind of high action that makes you have to fight. So that's how we've set this one up. It's got a meaty C-shaped neck, little heft to it. I think it's an 85 to 98, an 86 to 98, or something like that. 86, 98 at 12. So yeah, very chunky, but not overly chunky, not baseball bat-ish quite, you know, just a little chunk to it. Rosewood fretboard, dot inlays and binding. We've got a honey burst gradient finish on the neck. Kind of goes into a lighter amber tint and then more of like a honey brown at the top and bottom. Fender F tuners, relic hardware. This one is sporting 2 wide range humbuckers in a Jazzmaster casing. We got a standard Fender vibrato. This is actually kind of an exciting build because it's the first one we've gotten to use the new Tuffset Bridge on. Get a close up on that. So the Tuffset is probably my favorite boutique Jazzmaster or offset bridge on the market for a few reasons. One, primarily because it is a rocking bridge. I am a firm believer in Leo's original design where the bridge is supposed to rock, it's supposed to return to pitch whether you bend up or down, you know? You want to stay in tune no matter how much you whammy. And the Tuffset literally delivers. I mean, it's pretty much a drop-in replacement. You know, it's no secret that I like to provide the most value possible with my builds. So I tend to use the most affordable parts possible that will still get a professional, good tone in your guitar. So that means I end up using a lot of Mustang bridges, just standard Mustang bridges, and the only problem that I find with them really is that the height adjustment screws are prone to sinking over time. You may have noticed that your bridge lowers over time and you have to constantly raise it, and the screws can also rattle beyond that. The height adjustment screws don't have a very tight tolerance, which is the reason for the sinking and the rattling. So the way I've often remedied that is through an application of Loctite thread locker to the threads of the screws, and that makes them have a nice tight tolerance. There's a lot of resistance when turning. They stay where you put them. The only downside to a Mustang bridge like that is they only come in two, well, the fixed version, the fixed radius versions come in only two radius setups. They only have a 7 1/4 and a 9 1/2 radius version of those two. There are adjustable, kind of cheaper Mustang bridges that have the height adjustment screws on each saddle, but those height adjustment screws suffer from the same low thread tolerance as the height adjustment screws. So you end up with a lot of screws, even more screws that are prone to sinking and rattling and buzzing and sticking up and hitting your palm and just all kinds of uncomfortable things. So I don't really like to use the adjustable radius bridges. So where this really shines is, for one, no Loctite required. For two, very easy, simple setup. I radiused the saddles with a radius gauge. This is actually a 10-inch radius fretboard. So a standard Mustang bridge, a 9 1/2 Mustang bridge would be close enough on a 10-inch radius board, but on this bridge, on the Tuffset bridge, I can get exactly a 10-inch radius. I can change the radius, if you've got a 12-inch radius on your Jazzmaster, this is gonna be the rocking bridge for you. If you've got anything other than 9 1/4, or 9 1/2, excuse me, and 7 1/4 radius on your neck, this bridge is going to be a godsend to you. And it's only it's a drop-in replacement. There was no shims required to get proper functionality out of this bridge. Everything's clearing the vibrato screws, no rubbing up against the braking strings or anything like that. It just worked, and it was it's the one that I've had the least grief intonating. The intonation ability is like spot on. Some other popular options for offset bridges use essentially the Telly style one saddle for two strings deal, so you end up with a little bit of a trade-off between intonation on each string. You kind of got to get it in the perfect middle zone, where it may be a few cents off on either string, but it's mostly close enough to perfect for most people. But this allows you to get perfect intonation. So the Tuffset bridge, all of those factors combined, it's the only, or one of the only, boutique offset bridge options that comes in a non-rocking, or in a rocking as opposed to non-rocking setup. So if you really want to keep the traditional tone, that kind of characteristic, behind the bridge chiminess and the rocking bridge setup, this is the way to go, in my opinion. We are huge fans of Guitar Form and Tuffset. We're proud to call them partners of ours. So yeah, this is for my endorsement, for my review of the Tuffset. It's the real deal, and I love it. I mean, this guitar, I have not had to tune this guitar since I finished building it, which was a week plus ago, and it's been sitting in my house. It's just settled in. I didn't even check the tuning. I'm sure it's a few cents off, just as things settle in, but it's all gone. If it has gone out of tune, it's gone out of tune perfectly with itself. And no matter how much I, whammy on it, no matter how much I abuse the vibrato arm, it returns back to baseline every time. Simple, grief-free setup, great piece of hardware, looks cool. So yeah, there's really nothing bad I can say about the Tuffset. It gets the Feelgood stamp of approval, for whatever that means. Beyond that, we got the wide range Jazzmaster humbuckers, just standard Jazzmaster wiring. Yeah, just a beautiful guitar, one that I was super thrilled to work on, especially for a local musician who's actually gonna presumably gig with it and take it all over the place with him, and I just couldn't be more honored. And These are exactly the type of builds that we love to do. You know, this was a new paint code we tried out for Robert, and you know, we've done Aztec Gold in the past, but I think this really nails the look of vintage Aztec Gold. And I just kind of wanted to, you know, before Robert comes and picks this one up and takes it out on his journey, I wanted to kind of document our journey with it and record a little demo jam and kind of immortalize it. If you guys want anything similar to this, you know where to go. Feelgoodguitars.com. Send us a request for a quote, and thanks again, guys, for hanging out, and we'll see you on the next one.